So we're going to start off with a lovely warm-up, coming into your basic stance. Let's begin with a slide of the hip, bringing the hip out one side and through the other. Really beginning to have a deeper release through the waist now. Feel that mobility of the spine enhance. Bringing that into your upper half. You can start to bring in some fluid hands and arms. So in this session, we're going to enjoy looking at accents of triplets with our hips and our chest, and maybe even our shoulders. We're also going to enjoy looking at a single circle of the hip. So a single leg circle, a couple of variations of that. And then we're going to work on our shimmies. So let's make that a little bit faster now. Nice. Let's come into a circle of the hip. Now we're going to slide the hip across, bring it back, out to the side, bring it forwards. Take it out to the side, bring it back. Out to the side, bring it forwards. Let's take it to the other side now. Out to the side, bring it back. Wow. Make that a little bit faster and smaller perhaps. Bring the hands all the way up towards the sky. Bring them on to the back of your head. Other direction. So we're really warming up through the hips. Into center, we're going to bring the hip on diagonal, forwards, twist back. Slide forwards, twist back with that figure of 8. I'll let you decide if you want to make that nice and big or lovely and small and intricate. One, 2, 3, 4. You can play around with the tempo. Wow, that looks absolutely gorgeous. It feels really nice too. Let's bring the hands into circular motion. Just float them all the way down towards your hips. That was so beautiful. So let's have a little look at a few traveling steps just to kind of warm us into our dance, and then we'll go into the single leg hip circle, which is a really gorgeous movement. A couple of variations for you in this session. Okay, so we are here. Let's work with a slide of the hip forwards. So in previous sessions, we looked at the slide of the hip. We also looked at the Egyptian walk, if you remember. Bring it forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Bring it back. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Out to the side, perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2. Beautiful. Perhaps traveling with a camel now. We could travel one high and one low. Up high, down low. Up high, down low. Up high, down low. Up high, down low. And so for that step, let me just talk you through that. So what we can do is with the foot pattern, up high, you're going to come up onto the balls of your feet just slightly. So you don't want to hyperextend through there, but it's an elevation enough so that there is a height to play with. So you're going to rise upwards, and you want to really emphasize that upwards motion as you do that. So with that raise of your rib cage at the same time, notice it creates so much more than literally just doing this. If you drive the rib cage up like that at the same time, up, it's that that illusion of depth that we spoke about previously. So you're up, and then you're going to roll the movement down, and as you roll the movement down, you're going to return, but you can maintain your height steady. So you got all this to play with whilst you keep your height steady. Woohoo! That's something to practice all in itself, isn't it? So you're up, and you draw the hips back, and you come down. And then you step on the other foot, step the other foot forwards, and you have one camel just right in here, regular camel. And what I like to do to create even more depth is on the downwards element of this earthy one, is really bring it right down. Bring the knee behind the toe. So sit your hips right far back, nice straight back. And that's a much more elegant line than like this, isn't it? So we're here. So we're going to come all the way up and roll down, step forwards and up and roll down. So the first one, you're coming up onto the balls of your feet. You're going to elevate even more through there, and then you're going to roll down. The second one, you're just going to step forwards, keep it on a level as you normally would. You're going to roll that camel down, and you're going to sit right down into it that time. So let's have a little bit of a shot with that. Are you ready? Ready. And we're going to come up high, drop, step, down, lift, drop, step, down, lift, drop, up, down. Nice. So try again. All right. So if this feels like it's a little bit too tricky for you, then you can literally just go for practicing the camel movement by itself, or just practicing the camel movement on a level plane like that all the way through. But if you'd like to, you can work with that elevation. Ready? 4, 3, 2, and lift, drop, drop, lift, drop, roll, drop, lift, drop, roll, drop. Nice. If we did that a little bit faster, let me nudge this on so we can find something faster. One second. I might just switch this over to this one. We're going to be working with this next piece in a moment anyway, so I'm going to switch it over to this. So we got that roll mechanism. So you're taking a deep breath in, roll the movement all the way down, use your upper abs, mid abs, low abs, and pelvic floor. Then bring your hips to neutral, try not to hyperextend. Are you ready? 4, 3, 2, and step, roll down. Step, this is not too fast. Step, roll down, step, roll down, step, roll down, step, roll down, step, roll down. No, it's not, it's actually fine. Step, roll down, 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 step, 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 wowee. That was beautiful. So that's a little something to have a little practice of if you would like to. Yeah, just playing around with the depth of that movement, creating that illusion by lifting all the way up and then sinking all the way back down. It makes it so much more interesting than just literally your camel. Although this is lovely. This is lovely in itself. It's lovely. And it's really good for digestion as well as various other things. But why not let's have a little play around with the dynamics of it, make it much more dynamic a movement. Okay, from here, what I'd like to share with you in this session, a single hip circle, 2 variations of. The first one is going to be the equivalent of, if you did a hip circle, like we did at the beginning, where you keep your hip nice and level all the way around. It's parallel with the floor. The tailbone remains neutral, okay? So if your hips were a coin on your coin belt and it fell on the floor, you placed your finger on it and you traveled it round in a circle like this with your finger on the top. The sides of the coin are flat on the ground. That's what you're doing with your hips there in that circle. So when we come to take this onto a single leg, your aim here, this is going to be a vertical movement rather than horizontal. It's a vertical one this time, okay? So it's going to travel up and down. That's your aim, is to travel it up and down and forwards and back. But it doesn't travel this way. So what we're going to do with this movement then is let's bring the hip forwards first. So you're going to twist through your waist to slide the hip forwards. Then you're going to bring it down and round. So you're going to make sure you have a bend through both knees. And then you're going to bring it all the way around. Bring it up to the back and up to the sky. Bring it forwards and down and back and up, forwards and down and back and up. So from the side, it looks a bit like this. Forwards and down and back and up. Forwards, down, back and up. Now what you'll find is 95, 98% of the population have an anterior tilt of their pelvis. What does that mean? What that means is they stand naturally like this. Usually, so there's various reasons why that's the case now, but it's not our natural way to be. It's caused by shortening through the hip flexors, right at the front of the hip. If you're short and strong here, it forces this tilt motion like that of the pelvis. Now, want to be aware of that because, well, not only is that incredibly useful knowledge in belly dance for almost anything that you do in the art form, it also helps you in this movement to not hyperextend so that you're going to hurt your back. You don't want to hurt your back, but also it means that you can refine the movement fully. So let me show you, if I wasn't conscious of the placement of my hips, what might happen? So we come forwards and back, and forwards and down and back and up. But as you come back and up, you get this hyperextension comes in here. Can you see that? Chest comes forwards, hip comes back, muscles here are short, strong, crunch, ouch. So instead of that, the tailbone wants to be down towards the ground. So you've literally rotated your pelvis. Use your pelvic floor muscles, your low abs, bring your belly button up and back. So if you're active through your pelvic floor and your belly button coming up and back, that's going to help protect your back muscles, okay? So we're here, so that's really, really important. So I'm glad that we took the time just to mention that. So you're going to slide forwards, bring it down, bring it back, and bring it up. Forwards, down, back, up. Forwards, down, neutral, up. Forwards, down, pelvic floor, up. Yeah? Nice. Let's try that on the other side. So this can be quite a challenging movement for lots of people for that reason. And usually it's to do with the way that we use our bodies today. There's tension that creeps in through the front of the hip. So yeah. So maybe you'll probably find one side of the body wants to work with you a bit easier than the other. That could have been the side we just did, or perhaps it's this side coming up. See how this side feels? So we're in neutral here. Tuck the hips under, rib cage is lifted, shoulders are in neutral there. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to twist through the waist to bring the hip forwards. And then you're going to bring it all the way down towards the ground. And then you're going to keep the hip in neutral so it's not here. It's very good for digestion. We're going to tuck the hips under. Bring the hip all the way towards the back and bring them all the way up. So it comes forwards and down, back and up. Forwards, down, back and up. Forwards, down, back, up. Forwards, down, back, up. So as we said in lots of other movements, the more that you bend your knees, the more that you can really flow and create movement. If you don't have such a big bend to your knees, there's not really that many places that your hip can go. You've got a lot of movement on the forwards and back, but in terms of up and down, it doesn't equal that. It's not in balance. So you'd be creating an oval shape, which in some situations is desirable. But in others, maybe you want a really nice refined circle. So just being aware of that. And so this is your, let's say, a classical circle of the hip. It's flat. You could dance this, theoretically, you could dance this against the mirror side on like that. So if I was here, theoretically, you would never want to actually do this, but you could dance this, pressing your hip against the mirror there. It doesn't travel out to the side. So that's one variation I wanted to share with you. And then the second variation of the single leg circle is more of an internal circle. So this is very much on the outside of your hip, this one we just did. Very much on the outside of your hip. It's quite a big movement, or it can be quite a big movement. It has the ability to be. But this next one is more of an internal circle. So what I mean by that when I say internal circle, well, it uses, so the one that we just did uses external muscles. Superficial external muscles, like your external obliques are used in there and all sorts of things like that. So this other circle uses more internal muscles, ones that are deeper within your body, ones that can be trickier to activate if you're not used to this movement, and ones that in Egyptian dance are sometimes utilized more than the big muscles. So this internal circle, what I want you to do is to visualize this internal circle flowing from the inside of your thigh. So the inside of your thigh and in at the inside of your hip. So what you could do is you could place your hands on your hips here and then just bring them in towards just where your thigh begins to curve round. Your thigh begins to curve round onto the inside. That's where we're aiming for. So it's kind of like that little valley. You've got your hip bones here, and it's the little valley inside there. I want you to visualize the circle. The center point of that circle is coming from there. Okay? And with that visualization, let's come onto a single leg, and you're going to begin to circle that point there around. So where the last time our aim was to keep the hips in neutral, tailbone facing down to the floor, and it moved round like this time, if this circle was a coin on your hip belt and it fell off, This time you're going to watch as it wibble wobbles around like this, round, turning. So it's not level and moving like this, it's weaving and bobbing and woo, round like a coin that's come off of your hip belt. So that's what I want you to visualize, and that's what I want you to feel into. So from that center point, the inside of your thigh, that little valley of your hip there. Now, your foot, you've not got too much weight on your foot. You're just going to bend through your knee, lots of bending through your support leg. This one, a little bit of balance created through here, but there's not much weight on this foot whatsoever. It's not an extended step and it's not way back here. It's just comfortably in alignment with your toe of your other foot or ever so slightly in front of that. So we're here. Now what we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to bring the circle into the center of your body, back. Bring it out and bring it forwards. Yeah? Center, back, out, forwards. Center, back, out, forwards. Center, back, out, forwards. The other way that you could view this movement, if you're familiar with an omi or an African hip circle, this could be considered to be one aspect of that. So it's very much smaller and condensed just over that side of your hip. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, leave me a little comment and I'll answer that for you in a moment. So we're here and we're going to come round. So you come to center point, back, side, forwards. Center, back, side, forwards. Center, back, to the side and forwards, center, back, to the side and forward. So what you'll notice in this one from the side is that we do, in fact, come out of hip neutral. So being aware that the majority of the population have an anterior tilt of their pelvis, being aware of, as you bring the hip back, there will be a little bit of hyperextension through there. And that's why you wouldn't want to use this circle a lot. Use it sparingly and in the right moment where it just, woo, it's like the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. So it's in here. You can really speed it up. Whoa. Let's try on the other side now, nice and slow. So we're here, bend through. Yep, tuck your hip under. And get ready. So we're bringing the hip into the center first. So visualize on this side, the inner section of the hip. So you're coming in first to center, you're coming back, coming out and forwards. Into center, out, or center back, out and forwards. Center, back, out, forwards. Center, back, out, and forwards. A little bit faster if you want to. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I always like to finish that movement coming all the way forwards and returning my hip into neutral because I wouldn't want to be going off into another movement with a tilt of the pelvis. So always completing that circle into center at the end. Nice. Shall we pop on some music? Let's have a little bit of fun with that. Yeah, woo. Okay. Gone on to a whole different track. So what we'll do, in fact, is, since that's having a little episode to itself, I'll give it a chance to refresh. What we'll do is we'll go on and I'll show you that other element that we were going to work on today, which was that triplet punctuation, let's say, of the hip. So we've worked with triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We've worked with triplets with our finger cymbals, for example, in these classes. Now let's work with a triplet of the hip. Okay, so often within Middle Eastern music, you will find triplets. There'll be, and then there'll be a pause, and there'll be, sometimes it's in an intro, sometimes it's right in the middle of a track. Have a little listen. See if you can notice any as you go. So with this, I want to just start really, really simple with this concept, because simple, particularly on stage, if it's a big stage and a big audience, sometimes the simplest of movements are the most profound. We've done performances with our troupe, and literally the raising of a head on cue, like on beat, it has people speechless. It's so powerful. Of course, placed with the intent behind it. So, first of all we're going to do is lift and lower through our heels. So you're going to lift upwards and drop. Lift up and drop. Lift up and drop. So we're going to do this in syncopation with the music. So it's going to be den, den, den. Again, den, den, den. Once more, den, den, den. Okay, I have to do one more because den, den, den. Feels incomplete otherwise, doesn't it? That's the dancer in us, isn't it? So we've got den, den, den. Then what we're going to bring in is your choice, dancer's choice, either that circle that we did there or the internal one there. So it's going to go like this, den, den, den. Sorry about my whistling. I actually used to be able to whistle really good, and then I couldn't. And now I can, but not very well. So we've got den, den, den. Other side, den, den, den. Don't worry, I'll put the music on in a second. And then your choice. You might want to do a chest circle. You might want to do the other way. So we're going to work with the right side and the left side and then the center. Shall we try it? Woohoo! And then as we go on in future sessions, we'll work with that triplet of the hip, that punctuation of that well-known question and answer. We'll build on that as we go. Okay. Let's give it a shot then. Hopefully this has reset what it's doing. That would be very kind if it had. Oh, okay, we're on. Oh, we didn't get our stage call, did we? Right, 1 sec. Oh no, it's done it again. Oh, here we go. Oh, now we're getting some craziness. This time, get ready, here we go. Wow, let's try that again. So what I'll get you to do, because I've not got my really long extension cable here, actually the device is no longer accepting it for some reason, I'll get another. What I'll get you to do is as soon as you hear that music coming in, prep yourself for those dun, dun, dun. And I'll join you as soon as I can. Here we go, get ready, ready, and. Other side. Oh, forgot what I was doing. Other side again. finish off this session with some shimmies. So you're gonna just bring that knee shimmy. Shoulder shimmy. Into figure of 8. We're going to choo-choo here, lift up. Turn it. Wow, amazing. Help yourself to a little spot of hydration. And then we're going to finish off with a lovely releasing stretch. That was gorgeous. Coming into center. Lengthening all the way through. Releasing all the way through to center. Come round towards one side, lengthen all the way. Wow, I don't know about you, but I certainly feel incredibly flexible after that. Let's take it to the other side. Oh, gosh. It's beating my firewall. Coming back into center in your own time. Give me 1 second. Into center. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, and all the way back into center. Bring your hands down to your hips. Enjoy that sensation of strength, of energy, of power, beauty, and femininity. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so you can be informed of when the next video goes up. If you'd like to support the creation of these videos, remember you can head along to patreon.com/Little Egypt Studio, where you'll find a community of other enjoyers of these videos. See you soon. Bye.